Can you can the speaker give a true learning? An overall learning, not a learning pertinent to the speaker, but a learning about life, a true learning. When the emotions are stimulated by the mind, which is of course the mind being stimulated by the emotions, because there's no separation, there is a stimulation. That is the biggest learning, that something is not right. See, the emotional senses are here for our purpose, to put everything right. I'll give you a perfect example. When a loved one passes, when your husband, wife, child, mother, father, someone very dear and close to you passes, even a friend, it can be a neighbor, the emotional senses are stimulated by this grief. So what is taking place? You see, where's the learning here? Well, the learning is pretty obvious. It's not that you are going to miss them. That is part of the ego state, that attachment. And that is natural. That is natural for the ego mind. And the ego mind is a very important part of our life. Even though at some points we have to destroy it, annihilate it, because it can never be destroyed completely. Anyway, there is an idea that I will miss this one. But the true learning is, my God, I missed, whatever I am, missed the opportunity to really, really connect with the one that is past through a misconception of myself. I don't want to elaborate on these words. You can rewind and try and understand them with your mind or whatever. But the stimulation of the senses is a opportunity to stop. Opportunity to say, and you say it in your mind, when that one passes, I missed the opportunity to be a good person to that one. I missed the opportunity to be close. I missed the opportunity. The ego also replicates. You see, that's why the ego is important, because the ego is the messenger. The ego replicates that what is true to you. Ego says it in a story fashion. I missed the opportunity. I wish I did more. I wish I visited them more. I wish I cared for them better. I wish I did all that stuff, So the learning is that one cannot be taken back to be tested and trialed again. But there are other ones around you, within your family, that the learning is, well, this time I'm not going to put my work first. I'm not going to put my idea on what is taking place in other countries first. I'm not going to put myself, my ego body, into positions of separation from them. I'm not going to cling on to them and attach to them. But I want to know them. And the only way I can know them, the ones that are still living now, this is one situation. This is only one situation of the senses. This is a grieving situation, a grieving learning. How can I be different? How can I treat the rest of my family different? Because the ego will then say, well, you know what, just accept everything. And the pure mind says, yes, accept everything. So which one is right? They're both right. But one seems to be more secure than the other. The ego says, just accept everything and get on with it. Who's speaking? Is that you speaking? Is that your mind speaking? Or is that someone external, your employer? Oh, yeah, I know. It's terrible. I'll see you on Monday. Yeah. And you say, yeah, I have responsibility. I have to do what every other human being did before me. Just get on with life. Just put it to the back of me. So what you're doing is you're putting the learning to the back of you. Because the learning basically is, yes, everyone dies. The ego learning is everyone dies and I have to get on with life and plod on. And I'm not really going to learn anything about this emotional, stimulated period of my life. It's just gone. So you keep going through that emotional stimulation. And it happens with happiness, it happens with pain, pleasure. Every state that has a name, an identity, is an ego state or an identity. Even death. Not true. Not true. Death is an untrue state separate from birth. Birth is an untrue state separate from grief. And happiness. You see, the emotions are here to be quietened. They are here to be peaceful. They are here to be not emptied. Not emptied. Even Christ had tears. Even Christ laughed. But that overstimulation is going to lead you to some sort of trauma. And that trauma is going to lead you to some sort of learning. And that learning can only be defined by you. No one else can tell you, oh, you were in the middle of a learning. Yes, I had a learning 2 years ago. Yeah, I didn't really learn from it. I just plodded on. Did the same old stuff, the same old routine, the same old parrot fashion. Went to my work, and then I had another learning. I had a triple bypass, and then you know what? I said to myself when I got through that, I've learned this time, and I fell into the trap again. The ego will always fall into the trap. The truth, the learning is, how can I overcome my emotions? How can I overcome this stimulation? And then when you do, you go to the funeral of your loved one. And everyone is crying. Everyone is crying except you. My God, he's such a hard person. I thought he loved his wife. And inside, you're celebrating. You're celebrating every moment that you spent with that one. Because you learned from a previous passing. I learned. I don't want to grieve at the funeral. I want to, before the funeral comes, I want to get to know this one totally. And the only way you can get to know another one totally is not by using your mind and that senses and that arrangements, that negotiation, that I'll do it your way if you do it my way. I'll show you yours if you show me mine. It is to get to know yourself. You cannot know another human being until you know yourself fully. And ego seems to be the perpetrator, seems to be the one that is stopping this meeting. But in fact, ego is the one that is pushing you forward. Because the meeting cannot take place until you came up against that brick wall. I cannot grieve anymore. I'm sick of grieving. I'm sick of laughing. I'm sick of the pain. I'm sick of the pleasure. I'm sick of the joy. And what do you do with the brick wall when all this takes place? Do you start climbing? Can you find the energy to climb over the next brick wall? Because that's what ego says. You climb over. There's another wall to go. Because ego knows how many walls you have to climb before it's the end of the road for ego. Ego takes you to that final step, that dark night of the soul. It's done its job. You then have no choice but to surrender and turn around and apologize and forgive yourself. And then something happens, that Sadguru, that internal spirit, not anything to do with religion, spirituality, not anything to do with science, past history and all that stuff, not anything to do with anything you've known before. You meet something for the first time that you've never met before. I open the door. Where is the door? There? Or is it behind you? Or is it within? Find the door. And you find the peace. And you know what? You love ego. That's why you love every human being, even in their ego state. Even in the I want, I need, I desire, it's all about me, it's all about this. I know how to solve the world. I know how to get a cure for the vaccine. I know how to stop death. I know how to prevent all this stuff. You sit and you say, wow, I love that one. He's so many walls to go over. But I know at some point, the thing about enlightenment is you know that every single human being will at some point experience their biggest fear. And every single human being will overcome their biggest fear. And those who commit suicide and those who leave this world without that final meeting, well, they'll come back. That's the joy, you see. That's the joy. And it's not an overwhelming joy, a stimulating joy. Oh, they're coming back. Wow. It's just annoying. The knowing is the unknowing, and the unknowing is annoying. Each door is a different type of knowing and a different type of unknowing. The human form is intelligence. The next step is wisdom. Cross the bridge from intelligence to wisdom. Ego is pointing to the door. Ego is that hard taskmaster that says, come on, keep going, keep going, keep going, because there's another wall, another big wall. Don't stop now. Until it says, my time is up. Stop. Don't climb any more walls. Because you're not even attempting to climb any wall. You're not moving. You're dreaming about these walls. You're dreaming, you're imagining, you're fantasizing about all these things that you have to overcome. You're pure in every step of the way. Ego is your guide. It appears to be the bad guide and the good guide. Mind appears to be the bad guide and the good guide. Your body appears to be the bad body and the good body. But they're all trying to help something confront the dream, confront the fear, confront the truth. That all of this, including your body, including you, not that true you, that I within, that's when truth is seen. When you know, wow, how foolish. But I'm so glad I was a fool. I'm utterly glad that this foolishness led me to that what I never ever was. I only thought I was something other than what one is. Not I am. One is. One is life. Life is one. Nothing separates life. Even in what we call death, life goes on. To the body and the one inside. Ducking and diving, looking for more walls. Each time the wall gets smaller. The bigger the ego gets, the bigger the wall is. The smaller the ego gets, there's just a little skip over. No one skips over, you see. No one skips over to that side. There are so many sides on this side. Spirit, soul, consciousness, God, Brahman, Absolute, on this side. No one skips on the other side. No. Enough on this side. Enough with the emotions stilled, quiet, stable, flowing with ease and with perfection and with love. Learn from grief, learn from happiness, and change. Not the world, not your house, not your car, not everything about you. Change direction. Change direction. Move inward. Find yourself. And then you won't be grieving at any other funeral because you'll know each one impeccably like yourself.